Hey everyone, I'm Matt.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Matt and Kat Things. Well, we're out here exploring some of our city parks and trails up in Maine. And it reminds us of our hike on the Camino. I know a lot of people are out there planning their own Camino. Hopefully some of you guys have seen our video. But it made us think that we wanted to take a second and share with you some of the lessons that we learned when we hiked the Camino. So I thought we'd go over 10 things that we learned on the Camino to share with you guys today.
So the number one thing that we think is probably the most important thing to realize is you don't have to do the whole trail at one time.
Yeah, that's a really good one, because a lot of people might actually not do it because they're thinking, wow, where am I going to get 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks to do all 800 kilometers of the Camino? And we had taken 3 months off and we're in Spain, but we didn't want to give all of our time to the trail either. We wanted the experience, but we didn't want to, spend our entire time off. So what we decided to do was take a section of the trail. We went from Santander to Gijón. It was about a couple hundred kilometers. And we gave ourselves 2 weeks to do it. How long did it take us?
10 days.
10 or 11 days. So I think if we had waited and waited for a time in our lives and we could have 5, 6, 7 weeks to do it, we never would have done it. So carve out a section that makes sense and do it. It's much better to get out there and do part of it than not to do any at all.
So number 2 is deciding which route you want to take.
The Camino De Santiago, technically anywhere you go in the world, you start walking, you end in Santiago de Compostela, you've done the Camino. The traditional route is Camino Frances. I think most people do that. But when we got to Spain, we learned a few things that made us reconsider that route. One was
that it's way too hot in July and August to do the southern route.
It's like 100 degrees and there's very little cover. So we decided that the northern route that runs around the northern coast of Spain would be much cooler. And the other thing is, they say that at that time of year there are 60,000 pilgrims hiking the Camino Frances. And well, what we were not interested in was an ant trail. We decided to do Camino Norte, and we saw how many pilgrims a day?
Probably 3 or 4 a day.
Yeah, 3 or 4 on the trail a day. Sometimes it felt like we had the trail to ourselves. It was beautiful. We still got the experience because we met people in towns at the end of the day.
And the weather was perfect. Maybe 80 was highest.
It was amazing. Number 3, talk a little bit about, pre-planning. What kind of things we did to get ready for the trail.
You did, because you're a planner.
Right.
I'm not.
Kathy wouldn't have planned anything. Kat would have just jumped on the trail and started walking. I had a tendency to plan too much level of detail, and it worked out kind of perfect in the middle. I thought it was wise to kind of have a general sense for the distance between towns, maybe some bailout points, places we could get the train back to Madrid if something were to happen. But really, you really can kind of go at it. The route is so well marked, you don't need a lot of maps and GPSs. We did download an app, I'll do a screenshot, called Wise Pilgrim. It was awesome. Anytime I kind of felt a little unsure or wanted to double check, I just log into that app. But no, not a lot of pre-planning needed.
Number 4 is you really don't need to carry a lot of food on you because there's lots of places to stop.
Yeah, you don't go much more than a handful of kilometers, 8 kilometers, until you come into some sort of town or someplace where you can pick up a snack. I think we'd carry some like cashews and some M&Ms, and then we'd stop and get a bite. But you definitely don't need to weigh yourself down with food. I think my pack weighed in at maybe 13 kilos, and very little of it was food.
Well, we carried water.
Yeah, we carried a couple liters of water each all the time.
Number 5 is getting all the gear you need for your trip. We bought all our stuff in the US, and once we get to Spain realized that we could have bought it a lot cheaper.
Yeah, they got a store in Spain called Decathlon. I'll put a link or something. Unbelievable how much cheaper the stuff was. Like, I bought an SPF 50 long sleeve shirt that I guarantee you I would have spent $35, $40 US.
Paid 10 euros.
I paid $10 for it over there. Hiking boots that I paid $180 for here were $100 there.
Your hiking poles you bought there.
Trekking poles, that's the biggest one. Trekking poles, minimum $100 here. I paid $14 there. So if I could do it all over again, I would save my gear shopping for Spain at a store called Decathlon. Probably my biggest gear win was my Darn Tough socks. I gotta give a shout out to Darn Tough. These are a wool sock company in Vermont. Man, let me tell you, they absolutely saved my feet. We learned to stop, midday, take your shoes off, take your socks off, let your feet air out a little bit. But man, those socks, they were the clear winner gear-wise.
So that takes us into number 6, which is foot care.
You had some problems with your feet.
Yeah, I had a lot of blisters.
If you go back and look at our video, you'll see a couple points where Kat, matter of fact,
I mean, I had blisters upon blisters.
yeah. You definitely need to do a better job than we did of bringing some stuff, because there are products that you can actually get ahead of foot problems. And then we made a mistake on the trail, because our Spanish isn't that great. We bought a product designed, we bought a product for blisters that's actually designed for pre-blister, for like hot spots. And that stuff does not come off.
And if you try to pull it off, you rip your skin off.
So go back and look at our video, you'll see Kat's feet, they were pretty beat up. But that goes, the socks play a big role. I'll say this about hiking boots versus shoes. We decided to wear Merrell, like trail runners. And they were comfortable and they were light. But going back, when you walk, 15 miles a day for 10 days in a row, it's really tired on your feet. If to do it again, I would wear a hiking boot.
I don't know if I would wear a hiking boot. I would just not wear a minimalist shoe.
Yeah.
Something with a little more padding.
Me personally, I think I like the hardness of a traditional hiking boot, that transfer of the trail up into your feet doesn't really happen. So up to you, but it's one thing to go out and hike 10 miles in one day. Do it 10, 11 days in a row and your feet get really tired.
So number 7 is places you're going to stay along the trail, either albergues or hostels or pensions, hotels.
Now most people that do the Camino do what?
They do albergues because
Right.
it's cheaper. It's
Yeah.
between like 5 and 10 euros a night.
An albergue is kind of like an open bay barrack, if you will. You show up, first come, first serve in most cases, some you can reserve. But there might be 20 people sleeping in a room, packs laying out everywhere. It's 5, 10 euros a night. It's the pilgrim's way. But there were a couple things that changed our mind about that. One was,
You have to get up way too early,
yeah,
and we didn't want to do that.
most albergues want you out of there at 8 in the morning.
Yeah, but most pilgrims start between 7 and 8 in the morning, but we didn't want to.
That just wasn't the experience we were looking for. We wanted to sleep in a little bit. We hiked. We would start the day at 9 and probably hike till 5 or 6 at night, where most people seem to get up at 6 and hike till 2 or 3 in the afternoon because they felt it was so hot.
Yeah.
But the heat didn't bother us, and we wanted to sleep in a little bit. We also heard rumors.
But there were bed bugs.
Yeah, a lot of people we talked to were having the bed bugs were tearing them up.
Once we heard that, we're like, no way.
So when we really got critical about why we were out there, we wanted the Camino experience. We wanted the beauty of the trail. We wanted to meet people.
I mean, we did end up spending a lot more because it was 30 to 80 euros a night.
Yeah.
But a lot of these places, if you ask, will give you a discount for being a pilgrim.
Right. So we decided the experience we really wanted was more about the trail and the people, and less about, you know, having some sort of experience in an albergue. Not take anything away from that. I mean, that is part of the experience, but it wasn't most important to us. So we stayed in pensions, hostels primarily, like Kat said, 30 euros a night, and a couple hotels.
So number 8 is taking a 0 day or not taking one.
Why
We
would
ended
you
up-
take a 0 day?
Well, we took one because my feet were really
Yeah.
sore.
Now, originally though, we had actually scheduled.
3 or 4 days.
Right. We gave ourselves 2 weeks. We ended up spending 11 days, I think, on the trail. 10 days hiking, 1 0 day. The honest truth is, I mean, every morning we
were
woke
ready
up
to hike again. Yeah.
and we wanted to hike. I mean, we didn't want to sit around. We just got so excited about getting on the trail that we ended up not taking any 0 days, not until right toward the end. And you'll see it in our video. We did that because our feet were just so beat up. So plan them, and if you find that town that just is so special, you cannot pass it up, take the 0 day.
That was another reason we decided to take the 0 day when we did. Besides my feet, was the town we were in was
Yeah.
just beautiful. Number 9 takes us to our favorite spot.
Yeah, we were talking about 0 days. We stopped in a town out of necessity called Riba de Sella. Ended up being our favorite town. We would have taken a 0 day even if our feet had been feeling better. This place
It was beautiful.
was amazing. It's the most amazing convergence of the mountains,
And the beach.
the river coming out of the mountains, spilling into a kind of an ocean, the bay I mean, and then into the ocean. And a beautiful beach. Wow. We're going back to Riba de Sella just to go there. Plan a 0 day there.
So number 10 is the people on the trail that you meet along the way.
Yeah, it's probably the most. I mean, Mother Nature really is on full display, and it's a stunning experience. But the people we met, it was really neat. We met people from everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Where?
Germany,
Germany, Israel, Romania, Spain, France. Germany was number 1, I think. We met
Yeah.
a lot of Germans. UK.
Yeah.
Met this crazy couple from the UK. They were actually biking the Camino. You know, you're eating dinner, all of a sudden, you start talking to the person next to you. Next thing you know, it's
You're
2 in the
partying.
morning. You're into your 4th bottle of wine, and you just had an amazing experience. It was really, really fun. Interestingly, we didn't meet any Americans on the entire trail. Not one. Everyone kept
And
saying.
everyone spoke English except for one person.
A lot
who
of people
was
spoke it. Yep, lots. Mostly everyone spoke English, and everyone kept saying, "You're the only Americans we've met on this trail." I don't know if that's a Camino Norte thing, the northern route, probably. I think the popularity of the trail has really transferred to lots of people going to do Camino Frances, the traditional route. So another reason for Norte. And as far as people go, you know, don't pass up an opportunity to strike up a conversation with
I
some
mean,
of these
everyone
people.
was really friendly.
And the things you learn, and it's really neat. And look, you're gonna know. Everyone does the Camino for different reasons. Some people out there are really looking to be alone, and it's very clear when you come up on a pilgrim. You know, you pass them, you say, "Buen camino," have a good Camino. If they want to talk and join a conversation, it'll happen. If they're kind of, you know, inward and you can tell that they're out there for that private time, it's obvious. You just buen camino and keep moving on. Well, that wraps up 10 lessons or 10 things we wanted to share with you about the Camino de Santiago, specifically the Camino Norte. I hope it helped. I think this is the time of year where everyone's out there starting to put their plans together.
We can't wait to go back and do another section.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We are. We did kind of the middle section, so we're going to go back and we'll start the northern route in Irún and go to Santander, and maybe another time Gijón to Santiago de Compostela. I think I can say for the both of us, I know for me, I think about the Camino almost every day. I really do. I think about that experience almost every day. And I just can't say enough about it. So enjoy, buen camino, take care.